"Let's just be friends," she said casually, after years of leading me on like I was her backup plan. So I ghosted her, started dating her best friend, and let her watch as I built the life she thought she could do better than. Now she's texting me from her mom's couch while I'm planning a wedding with the woman who actually saw my worth from day one. Throwaway account for obvious reasons. Long-time lurker, first-time poster. This is going to be long, but I promise it's worth the read. This is 3 years of my life condensed into one post, and I need to get it all out. Grab some popcorn because this gets wild. Before anyone asks, yes, this is 100% real. Yes, I have receipts. Literally, I kept a spreadsheet because I'm that kind of person. No, I'm not proud of everything I did, but I'm not ashamed either. Sometimes karma needs a little push, and sometimes that push needs to be a full-on shove off a cliff. Let me set the scene. I'm 29 male now, but was 26 when this disaster started. I work as a senior financial analyst for one of the biggest investment firms in Dallas. Not quite Wall Street money, but I'm pulling in about $115,000 a year, plus bonuses, which in Texas goes pretty far. I drive a paid-off BMW 3 Series, own a 2-bedroom condo in uptown Dallas, have my 401k maxed out, and basically had my entire life together. That was apparently my first mistake, being stable and responsible. I met Sophia at my buddy Jake's engagement party 3 years ago. The moment she walked in, the entire room seemed to shift. She was 25, worked as what she called a brand ambassador, which I later learned meant she stood at trade shows and conventions, handing out free samples and collecting business cards. But when I first saw her, none of that mattered. She looked like she'd stepped out of a fashion magazine. Long auburn hair that caught the light just right, green eyes that seemed to sparkle when she laughed, and this way of making you feel like you were the only person in the room when she talked to you. I was done for immediately. The red flags were there from minute one, but I had my blinders on so tight I might as well have been wearing a welding mask. She showed up to this engagement party in a dress that probably cost more than her monthly rent, spent the entire evening complaining about the cheap appetizers. They were from a local caterer that charged $150 per person, and made absolutely sure everyone knew her ex was some pharmaceutical sales rep who'd abandoned her after she'd invested everything in their future together. I later found out invested everything meant she'd quit her job to support his career, which actually meant she sat at home while he paid for everything until he got tired of it. Still, when she touched my arm during conversation and said I seemed different from other guys, looking up at me through those long lashes, I fell for it like a ton of bricks. She had this laugh that made you feel clever, this way of leaning in when you talked like your words were the most important thing she'd ever heard. I was hooked, lined, and sinkered within 5 minutes. For the next 6 months, we existed in this weird relationship purgatory. We weren't officially dating, but we weren't not dating. I was essentially her boyfriend in every single way, except the ones that mattered to me, the emotional intimacy, the physical relationship, the actual commitment. But I was too blind to see I was just filling a role. Let me paint you a detailed picture of what this looked like, because looking back, the audacity still amazes me. Her car payment was due? Ryan, I'm literally having a panic attack. They cut my hours at the convention center and I'm $400 short. I might lose my car, and then I can't work. So I'd cover it. Rent was late, my agency is switching payment systems, and my check is delayed. I'm going to be evicted. Can you help me just this once? Just this once turned into 8 times. Designer purse she needed for a work event? It's an investment in my image, Ryan. You understand that, right? In my industry, image is literally everything. If I don't look successful, I won't be successful. The purse was $1,200. She wore it twice. Being the analytical type, occupational hazard, I actually kept track of everything in a detailed Excel spreadsheet. I told myself it was so she could pay me back when she got back on her feet. But deep down, I think I knew I was documenting my own stupidity. The numbers over 2.5 years. Rent assistance, $4,280. 8 times, ranging from $400 to $600. Car payments, $1,950. 6 payments of $325. Emergency transportation, $765. Dozens of Ubers when her car broke down. It never did. She just didn't want to drive. Dinners, $2,340. She'd order the most expensive thing, take 3 bites, then need a to-go box she'd forget in my fridge. Concert event tickets, $890. For shows she'd take other guys too. Investments in her career, $2,100. Headshots, portfolio websites, business cards she never used. Miscellaneous emergencies, $1,900. Everything from I need groceries to my phone is going to get shut off. Grand total, $14,225. But here's what really twisted the knife. While I was subsidizing her entire lifestyle, she was actively dating other guys. And she didn't just date them quietly. No, she'd tell me about them. In excruciating detail. Like I was her girlfriend or her gay best friend or something. Oh my God, Ryan. Brad took me to this amazing sushi place in Victory Park. You know, the one that has a 3-month waiting list? He knows the owner. The omakase was literally life-changing. Tyler has this incredible loft in downtown. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a view of the whole city. His dad owns like 3 companies. He's taking me to Cabo next weekend on his family's jet. Chase just got back from skiing in Aspen. Aspen, Ryan. He has a house there. Well, his family does, but still. He says I ski like a natural even though I've never been before. And after every single failed relationship, they usually lasted 2 to 3 weeks maximum before these guys figured out what she was about. She'd show up at my door, mascara running, needing her best friend. And like the pathetic simp I was, I'd let her in, order Chinese food on my dime, pour her wine I'd bought, and listen to her complain about how these guys only wanted one thing and didn't value her for her mind. The irony was so thick you could cut it with a knife, but she was completely oblivious. Her roommate Emma would sometimes be there during these pity parties. Emma was everything Sophia wasn't. Worked as a pediatric nurse at Children's Medical Center, paid her own bills, drove a Honda Civic she'd had since college that she maintained meticulously. She'd occasionally make comments like, "Sophia, maybe Ryan has plans tonight," or, "You know he's not your personal crisis hotline, right?" Sophia would laugh it off. "Oh, Emma, you don't understand. Ryan and I have something special. He's like my soulmate, just not in a romantic way. He gets me." And I'd actually defend her. "It's fine, Emma. That's what friends do for each other." Emma would give me this look, part pity, part frustration, and shake her head. Looking back, I was the captain of the Titanic, rearranging deck chairs while Sophia drilled more holes in the hull and charged me for the privilege. The moment everything shifted was a Thursday night in November. I'd just gotten promoted to senior analyst, $135,000 salary, better bonus structure, clear partnership track. After years of grinding, I was finally where I wanted to be professionally. I decided this was it. I was going to tell Sophia how I felt and ask her to be exclusive. I was done with the ambiguity. I planned the perfect evening. Made a reservation at the best steakhouse in Dallas, the kind where they don't put prices on the menu, bought a new suit, practiced my speech in the mirror like a teenager before prom. I even got a haircut that day. I was ready to finally shoot my shot. She showed up 45 minutes late, wearing a necklace I'd bought her for her birthday and a dress I'd paid for as a friend. She spent the first 20 minutes on her phone, texting and giggling, occasionally looking up to say, when I tried to talk. When I told her about the promotion, the thing I'd worked toward for 3 years, she said, "That's nice. Hey, do you think this lighting makes my skin look good? I want to update my dating profile pics." The waiter came by 3 times before she even looked at the menu. When she finally ordered, it was the most expensive thing on it. A $95 Wagyu beef situation that she'd take 2 bites of before declaring she was so full. Then she dropped the bomb that changed everything. "So Ryan," she said, finally putting her phone down and giving me her full attention for the first time all night. "I need to tell you something. You know how much you mean to me, right? You're literally my favorite person in the entire world. I don't know what I'd do without you." My heart was racing. This was it. Finally. 3 years of patience was about to pay off. "But," she continued, and that word hit like a physical blow, "I've been thinking a lot lately, and I see you as my best friend. Like a brother, almost. You're too important to me to risk ruining what we have by dating. You understand, right? We're better as friends. You're my safe space, my constant. I need that stability in my life." She reached across the table and grabbed my hand, and for a moment I let myself think, maybe she was testing me. Maybe she wanted me to fight for her. But then she continued. "Plus, I just matched with this amazing guy on Hinge. Derek. He's an investment banker, drives a Maserati, has a boat. You'd actually love him. Maybe we can all hang out sometime. I'm seeing him tomorrow night, and I'm super nervous. You'll help me pick out an outfit, right?" The server chose that moment to bring the $400 bottle of champagne I'd ordered to celebrate my promotion, and what I'd hoped would be the beginning of our real relationship. Sophia's eyes lit up. "Ooh, champagne. Are we celebrating your promotion? That's so sweet of you to include me in your special moment." "Yeah," I said, filling her glass and watching her immediately Instagram it with the caption, "Celebrations with my bestie. Akshi, blessed, Hakshi, best friend goals." To friendship. She completely missed the sarcasm and spent the rest of dinner showing me Derek's Instagram. His boat, his watch collection, his gym selfies, the photos from his trips to Dubai and Monaco. She was giddy, like a kid showing off their Christmas list. "He says he's looking for something real," she gushed. "Not like those other guys who just wanted to hook up. He owns his own investment firm." "Well, his dad does, but Derek runs a division. He's taking me to this exclusive club tomorrow. You can't even find it on Google." I paid the $650 check, including the Wagyu she'd barely touched and the champagne she'd documented more than drank. I drove her home while she spent the entire ride crafting the perfect response to Derek's latest text, occasionally asking my opinion on whether a winking emoji was too much. When I pulled up to her apartment, she gave me a side hug and said, "You're the best, Ryan. I'm so lucky to have you in my life. Don't know what I'd do without my rock." I watched her practically skip into her building, already on the phone, probably calling another friend to gush about Derek. And sitting there in my BMW, watching her disappear without a backward glance, I made a decision that would change both our lives. She wanted to be friends? Fine. Time to show her what that actually meant. The first test came exactly 36 hours later. Saturday morning, 7 a.m. My phone lit up like Times Square on New Year's Eve. OMG Ryan emergency. My card got declined at the salon. Rent is due Monday and I'm $500 short. The landlord says he'll start eviction if I'm late again. Can you Venmo me? I'll pay you back, I promise. Hello? Ryan, this isn't funny. Ryan, please. I'm literally having a panic attack. Why are you ignoring me? I was at the gym, middle of a heavy squat set when I saw them. Put the barbell back, looked at my phone, and did something I should have done years ago. I archived the entire conversation without responding. Then I went back to my workout, adding extra weight just because I felt so light. By noon, she'd called 23 times. The voicemails escalated like a masterclass in manipulation. First, 7 a.m. Hey bestie, super weird that you're not answering. I really need that rent money. It's kind of an emergency. Call me back. Second, 8 a.m. Ryan, what's going on? I know you see these messages. Your read receipts are on. Please stop being weird and call me. Third, 9 a.m. Are you seriously ignoring me because of the friends thing? This is really immature. I thought you were different. Fourth, 10 a.m. I'm going to get evicted. Is that what you want? For me to be homeless? Some friend you are. Fifth, 11 a.m. Fine, I see how it is. After everything we've been through, after I've been nothing but honest with you about my feelings, you're going to abandon me. Cool, really cool, Ryan. That last one actually made me laugh out loud in the middle of the gym. Nothing but honest? She'd been using me as a walking wallet for 3 years while pursuing guys who wouldn't give her the time of day for more than a few weeks. Emma texted me that evening. Hey, did something happen? Sophia's having a complete meltdown. She's saying you're ignoring her, but that can't be right. You literally never ignore her. She's talking about selling her designer bags to make rent. I texted back, not ignoring, just treating her like she treats me, as a friend, not a bank. Friends don't pay friends rent. How's your weekend? The typing bubbles appeared and disappeared about 8 times before she finally replied, holy crap, you finally did it, you absolute madman. Want to grab coffee tomorrow and talk about it? I have so many questions. Best decision of my life saying yes to that coffee. We met at this local coffee shop at 9 a.m. Sunday, the kind of hole-in-the-wall place Sophia would have called gross because they didn't have alternative milk options, and their aesthetic wasn't Instagram-worthy. Emma showed up in scrubs, coming straight from a night shift, looking tired but somehow still more put together than Sophia ever did at her brand ambassador events. So you finally figured it out, she said. No judgment in her voice, just observation. She ordered a simple black coffee and paid for her own without even thinking about it. You knew? She stirred her coffee thoughtfully, choosing her words. Ryan, everyone knew. My coworkers call you Sophia's platonic sugar daddy. The other nurses have a running bet on when you'd figure it out. I had November in the pool, so thanks for the $50. That's harsh, but accurate. Look, Emma said, leaning forward. I've lived with Sophia for 2 years. I've watched her cycle through guys while keeping you on the hook. She'd literally rank you all in terms of usefulness. You were her stability. Derek types were her excitement, and there were others for different things. It was like watching someone juggle, except the balls were people's feelings. Why didn't anyone tell me? Would you have listened? You were so deep in it, Ryan. She'd snap her fingers and you'd appear with your credit card. We tried subtle hints, but she shrugged. We talked for 3 hours. Not about Sophia at first, but about actual things. She was into hiking and had conquered most of the trails around Dallas. She had 2 cats named Minerva and Dumbledore. I'm a Harry Potter nerd. Sue me. She was saving up to buy a house, had an actual budget, contributed to her 401k. She actually asked about my promotion, remembered details about my job from the few times we'd talked before, laughed at my admittedly terrible finance puns. When the check came, she grabbed it before I could. My turn, she said. Friends take turns, right? The word friends hit different when someone actually meant it. So what's Sophia doing now? I asked as we walked to our cars. Emma pulled out her phone and showed me Sophia's Instagram story. It was a series of increasingly unhinged posts about fake friends and people who abandon you when you need them most, interspersed with old photos of us, where she'd tagged me with captions like, "Remember when people were real?" She's spiraling, Emma said. She already hit up her parents for rent money. They gave her an earful about being 28 and still needing bailouts. Then she tried to get Derek to pay, but apparently he ghosted her after their second date when she asked him to invest in her career. She even made a GoFundMe that got taken down for violating terms of service. The next few weeks were a masterclass in watching someone realize their safety net was gone. According to Emma and mutual friends, Sophia went through the 5 stages of grief, but all directed at me. Denial. He's just busy with his promotion. He'll call back. Anger. She showed up at my office building, but security wouldn't let her up without an appointment. She made such a scene, they almost called the police. Bargaining. Texts at 3 a.m., saying things like, "If you help me just this once, I promise I'll pay back everything, and we can even try dating if that's what you want." Depression. Vague social media posts with quotes about learning who your real friends are and being betrayed by those closest to you. Acceptance. Just kidding. She never got there. She went back to anger and stayed there. Emma and I kept hanging out. What started as coffee turned into lunch, then dinner, then hiking on weekends. She was everything dating should be. Easy, fun, reciprocal. She'd text me random stuff during the day, pictures of her cats being weird, memes about the stock market she didn't understand but thought I'd find funny. When we went out, she insisted on splitting checks or taking turns paying. She showed up on time, put her phone away during meals, actually listened when I talked. The shift from friendship to something more happened gradually, then all at once. We were at a Stars game 6 weeks after that first coffee. They just won in overtime, the arena was going insane, and Emma turned to me with this huge smile, grabbed my face, and kissed me, then immediately looked mortified. "Oh God, I'm sorry. I just got caught up in the moment and..." I cut her off by kissing her back. The drunk guys behind us cheered, though definitely not for us. "Finally," she said when we broke apart. "I've wanted to do that for weeks." "Why didn't you?" "Because I wanted to make sure you were over Sophia. Rebound relationships are messy, and I like you too much to be your palate cleanser." That night, she stayed over. Not in a hookup way, but in a, we talked until 4 a.m. and fell asleep on the couch watching Netflix way. It was the kind of intimacy I'd craved with Sophia, but never got because she was always performing, always on, always angling for something. Sophia found out about us when Emma posted a picture from a rock climbing gym the next weekend. It was innocent enough, me looking absolutely terrified on a beginner wall while Emma laughed from below. Caption just said, "Teaching this financial nerd that there are scarier things than market volatility." The meltdown was immediate and spectacular. First came the text to Emma. "What the actual F is this? You're supposed to be my friend. How long has this been going on behind my back? You're a backstabbing snake. Ryan is mine. I had him first. I hope you're happy being sloppy seconds." Emma screenshotted everything and sent them to me with crying, laughing emojis. Should I tell her she was the one getting sloppy seconds since you wanted me first? Then she blocked her. Then Sophia tried calling me from 15 different numbers that night. The voicemails ranged from sobbing apologies to threats. "Ryan, please. We need to talk about this Emma situation. You're making a huge mistake. She's using you to get back at me. If you don't call me back, I'm going to tell everyone what kind of person you really are. I'll ruin both of you. I have screenshots of everything." "Of what? Me paying for her entire life? Please, I'm sorry. I love you. I've always loved you. I just needed time to realize it." The real meltdown came 3 months later when she realized Emma had moved in with me. It wasn't some grand plan. Her lease was up. She was over all the time anyway. My place was bigger and closer to the hospital. She insisted on paying half of everything. Wouldn't even let me cover the moving truck. First time I'd ever had a partner who actually pulled their weight financially and emotionally. Sophia showed up at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday, absolutely hammered, pounding on the door like she was trying to break it down. I know she's in there. Emma, you stole my life. That was supposed to be me living there. Me exclamation mark. Emma called down from the bedroom window, calm as could be. Hey, Soph, there's a taxi waiting for you downstairs. Already paid for. Last favor you'll get from either of us. Driver's name is Muhammad, blue Camry. You don't understand? Sophia was sobbing now, mascara running down her face in black streams. Ryan, you were supposed to wait for me. You were supposed to always be there. That's what you do. That's who you are. Still waiting for that $14,225 you owe me, I called back. With interest over 3 years at market rate, it's about $17,000 now. She actually kicked my door, left a dent that cost $200 to fix. Worth every penny for the closure. This isn't over! Within a month of losing her safety net, Sophia's carefully curated lifestyle fell apart like a house of cards in a tornado. First, the car got repossessed. She posted about it on Instagram like it was some grave injustice, but everyone knew she hadn't made a payment in 4 months. Then she got evicted from her apartment. Turns out I wasn't the only one supplementing her lifestyle. Some 50-year-old divorced guy she'd been stringing along had also cut her off after someone sent him the screenshots of her meltdown texts. She moved back in with her parents in Plano, which for someone like Sophia was basically social death. Her Instagram went from rooftop parties and expensive dinners to complete radio silence for weeks. Meanwhile, Emma and I were building something real. Weekend trips to Austin where we'd split everything 50-50. Concerts where she'd surprise me with tickets to bands I mentioned once. Lazy Sundays where we'd cook together, her teaching me that food could be more than protein and vegetables. It was an actual partnership, not me performing a one-man show while someone else collected the profits. Then Derek re-entered the picture, because of course he did. According to the Gossip Network, Derek had blown through 3 other girls and circled back to Sophia, because she was the only one still responding to his texts. She latched onto him like he was the last lifeboat on the Titanic. Started posting again, pictures from his penthouse, videos from his Maserati, tagged locations at exclusive clubs. The desperation was palpable. Every post might as well have been captioned, "Look how much I don't need you, Ryan." Emma would screenshot the posts, and we'd laugh about them over breakfast. Look, she's at that restaurant that just got shut down by the health department. Oh wow, Derek's wearing the same shirt in 8 different posts. Laundry issues? The Derek situation imploded spectacularly at my company's annual gala 8 months after I'd ghosted Sophia. It was a black tie affair at the Ritz-Carlton, clients and executives everywhere. I was being recognized for a portfolio that had exceeded projections by 40%. Emma looked absolutely stunning in this emerald dress that made her eyes pop. We were having a great time until I saw Sophia walk in. She was wearing a dress that probably cost Derek a fortune, but she'd lost so much weight it hung off her frame. Her smile looked painted on, desperate. She made a beeline for us at the bar. Ryan, oh my God, it's been forever. She tried to air kiss me, but I stepped back. This must be Emily? Emma corrected, not bothering to smile. We've lived together for 2 years, Sophia. You know my name. Right. This is Derek. She pulled him over like a prize she'd won at a carnival. Derek looked exactly like every finance bro stereotype. Slicked back hair, too expensive suit that somehow looked cheap on him, checking out every woman except Sophia. So you work in finance? Derek said it like he was asking if I cleaned toilets. Cute. I just closed a deal worth more than this whole firm manages in a year. Congrats, I said. Hope it helps with the federal investigation. His face went white. What investigation? Emma pulled out her phone, found the article in 5 seconds. This one. Says here Derek Mitchell, 31, facing federal investigation for insider trading. 17 counts of securities fraud. Yikes. Derek walked away without a word. Just left Sophia standing there like an abandoned mannequin. She tried to recover. At least I'm not someone's consolation prize. No, Emma said, sipping her club soda. You're everyone's participation trophy. Show up, provide nothing, expect everything. The silence was deafening. Sophia's face went through several shades of red before she grabbed a drink from a passing waiter and threw it at Emma. Missed completely, hit a client's wife instead. Security escorted her out while she screamed about lawsuits and defamation. Derek dumped her via text while she was still in the parking lot. She called me crying from the taxi, saying she had nowhere to go. Her parents had kicked her out for bringing drama to their house. Could she just crash on our couch for one night? I hung up and blocked the number. 6 months after the gala incident, everything came full circle. I'd gotten promoted to Director of Portfolio Management. $180,000 plus bonuses that could double that. Emma had been promoted to head nurse of her department. We bought a house together in Highland Park. 4 bedrooms, pool, home office, the works. Both our names on everything. True partners. The housewarming party was supposed to be small, but it turned into an event. My CEO came, several high-value clients, Emma's medical friends, even some local influencers Emma knew from her yoga class. Someone posted about it on Instagram, tagged the location, and it started trending locally as Dallas Power Couple Goals. Guess who saw it and decided to make one last desperate play? Sophia showed up uninvited, looking rough. She'd aged 5 years in the past one. Her designer clothes replaced with Ross dress for less. Her Mercedes replaced with an Uber she probably couldn't afford. Security stopped her at the door, but I saw her and waved them off. I wanted to hear this final performance. "Ryan, please," she started, and I could tell she'd practiced this in the mirror. "I made a mistake. I know I made a mistake. I was young and stupid, and I didn't realize what I had. You were perfect, and I was too blind to see it. You're 6 months older than me, Sophia. That's not... Look, I'm drowning here. I lost everything. My job, my apartment, my car. My parents won't talk to me. Derek's facing prison time, and somehow I'm listed as a co-defendant because he used my name on some trading accounts. I need help. Legal fees alone are $50,000. I'll lose everything. You already lost everything." Her eyes filled with tears that might have been real. "Please. What we had was special. I know that now." Emma came outside, saw the situation, sighed. "Seriously, Sophia. Today? She needs 50 grand for a lawyer," I told Emma. Emma looked at Sophia with something almost like pity. "Soph, you had a man who would have moved mountains for you. Instead, you treated him like tech support for your life. Now you want him to save you from your own choices? You don't understand." Sophia was ugly crying now. "You took everything from me? He was mine." "No," I said, pulling Emma closer. "I was never yours. I was just available. There's a difference. What if I said I love you now?" Sophia played her last card. "That I see what I missed? We could try again?" Emma actually laughed. "With what? Your heart or your court summons?" I pulled out my phone, transferred $100 to her Venmo. "That's for the Uber home. Last thing you'll ever get from me." Then I dropped the real bomb. "By the way, we're engaged. Wedding's in 3 months. Small ceremony, just family and real friends." Emma held up her left hand, showing the ring I'd bought with my bonus. 2 carats, princess cut, exactly what she'd mentioned once in passing but never expected. Sophia stood there, calculating if there was any angle left. There wasn't. "I could have made you happy," she said quietly. "No," I said. "You could have let me make you happy. But that would have required you to see me as a person, not a credit card with legs." Security escorted her out gently. She sent one last text that night. "I loved you. I just didn't know it." I showed it to Emma, who was sprawled on our new couch with her cats, looking at wedding venues on her tablet, occasionally showing me options and actually caring about my opinion. "You know what the saddest part is?" Emma said. "She still doesn't get it. She thinks love is what you feel when someone's useful to you." Update. That was 8 months ago. According to mutual friends, Sophia works at a department store in the mall, lives with her parents, posts inspirational quotes about knowing your worth with zero self-awareness. Derek is facing 5 to 10 years in federal prison. Emma and I are getting married next month. Small ceremony in her hometown. Maybe 50 people who actually matter to us. We're looking at houses closer to her hospital. Her cats have accepted me as their servant. My portfolio just hit record numbers. Last week, I ran into Sophia's mom at Whole Foods. She looked exhausted. "She talks about you," she said carefully. "Says you were the one who got away." "I didn't get away," I said. "I was pushed away. There's a difference. Emma seems lovely. Sophia could learn from her. The lesson was free. She just refused to attend class. Sometimes the best revenge isn't elaborate. It's just stepping back and letting someone experience the consequences of their choices while you build something beautiful with someone who actually values you.